Hello, I am Disparu, and we start this roundup with news of Overwatch 2's beta being in an interesting position. As I record this, we're going through the drop event for the Overwatch 2 beta, and as you can see, they're at 1.2 million viewers on Twitch. So Overwatch 2 has a surprising amount of momentum compared to the rather tepid attitude that it had before the actual beta started itself. At the moment, it seems like Overwatch 2 is Blizzard's to lose. They've managed to get the players back, they've got the interest back. It's just a case of whether they've done enough to maintain that momentum and keep the players in the long term, because they have added various new features, such as a scoreboard to try and at least, maybe not lower toxicity, but channel it in the right direction. And there are various other changes which have all contributed to a far more positive outlook into the future than we had before. Things like lowering a tank, so it's made it more of a DPS, removing shields, so you're shooting people, not actual targets, and getting rid of stuns and everything. All in all, getting it back to the more original Overwatch, which is more FPS focused and less reliant on the crutches that were things like stuns, slows, and shields. All this contributes to a game which is reportedly far more focused on the solo carrier potential, which will inevitably keep players more interested if that turns out to be true. So at the moment, I'm cautiously optimistic about Overwatch and looking forward to getting access later today so I can give my opinion on what it's actually like. So until then, it's looking promising. It's just a case of, will this fall to the inevitable problem that Blizzard and Activision always have? The fact that their developers simply do not push out enough content in enough time. Because if that's the case, this Overwatch 2, which just looks like a balance patch, will get their player base to leave just as soon as they've arrived. GTA 6 is still a long way off into the future, but we are getting reports that the engine is apparently way ahead of its time, and that GTA 6 will be a big step forward to the series. It says that journalist and Rockstar insider Chris Klippel has shared on Twitter that the new version of the Rockstar game's graphic engine, Rage 9, that will be used for GTA 6 is pretty amazing, that fans shouldn't be disappointed with the results, and we're talking about an engine that's way ahead of its time. And the thing is, it will need to be, because although it's been reported that GTA 6 development is well underway, we're looking at a game that won't be out until the end of 2024, at least. So this is a game that needs to be future-proofed, because that's when we're gonna get it. My issue is that we've already got stories that the previous GTA games are being censored and having content from them removed, simply because it's not fit for the modern age, and GTA has always been renowned for pushing boundaries and being quite edgy as it is, and yet it seems that Rockstar is no longer in that mood. So while we may be getting GTA 6 in the future, the question is, are we going to be aiming that at a future audience as well, rather than the one that GTA actually already has? Because if Rockstar are embracing a rather censorious attitude, too scared to actually offend anyone, too scared to make a real GTA game, then what we end up with in 2024 may have GTA stamped on it, but have absolutely none of the soul which the series is actually renowned for, and for me, that's what I'm most concerned about for the series. It's another day, and another day of Twitch desperately trying to destroy their own platform, as this time, they're now reportedly considering adding more adverts onto the live streams, which, always works out well. They're going to try to incentivize top streamers to run more ads by simply removing the revenue they get from the subscription service. Currently, your top streamers will be getting around 70% of each subscription revenue. However, Twitch is talking about actually cutting that down to 50%. While Bloomberg sources have said that this could come into effect as soon as summer 2022, at the moment, this is just in the planning stages, and so it's far from definite. However, to me, this idea of trying to incentivize streamers to push ever-increasing amounts of ads seems like a terrible way to run a game streaming platform. I use Twitch a lot myself, and nothing is more frustrating than actually watching a game, getting to some big moment, and boom, an ad comes in, and suddenly you can't see anything, you can't hear everything, and it incredibly disrupts the entire system. Ads on YouTube work because you go from video to video, and you can actually put them at the start or at the end without any impact in it at all. And the video is obviously on demand. You're not missing anything while the advert is going. But on a live stream, it's entirely different. The content keeps on running while the ad does, and it leads to a horrible experience. I can't imagine anything worse for the platform, and yet this is something that Twitch and Amazon have been driving for years, and it looks like they're not going to stop now. And as someone that loves watching gaming live streams, it's just incredibly disappointing to see Twitch making these kind of decisions over and over again, which just seem to be hurting their own platform rather than improving it. As Call of Duty Season 3 launches today, the news about the IP is mixed at best. When we start with the Call of Duty player base has declined by 50 million users over the last year. That is a 33% decline in actual population. Now, we are getting good news for the future of Call of Duty in the fact that Modern Warfare 2, to all intents and purposes, is meant to be one of the most advanced experiences in the franchise history, at least according to Activision. How much they can be trusted and what they define as the most advanced experience remains to be seen. Maybe they've just updated the engine and called that enough, or are they actually going to add something new to the series? For once, because I think that's what it's going to take to bring people back to the multiplayer arena shooter of Call of Duty, because also Call of Duty now has multiple aspects to it, and that one is Warzone 2, which will be revealed this year with groundbreaking innovations. The next Warzone is being built from the ground up alongside the Modern Warfare sequel, and obviously this is talking a big game. Groundbreaking innovations, the most advanced experience in the franchise history, all talks a good game, but if you're not going to back it up, then really it does beg the question of how many players you're going to win back, because this is in fact investor language. That's who this kind of stuff is talking to. Well, the thing is, your players don't care what you told your investors. They actually want to see features. They want to see more than just marketing spin, because marketing spin isn't actually going to improve their play experience. And while for many years people were always willing to just buy the next COD no matter what they did or no matter how similar it was to what came before, it looks like that isn't at end. And when you start hitting these periods of decline, they can get faster and faster unless you do something drastic to change it. So them talking a big game is exactly what they need. And the issue is, they've got to back it up as well, and one thing we've found is that Call of Duty and Warzone aren't exactly known for their revolutionary ideas or their pace of content itself, and those are things that are going to have to change if they want to pull out of this slump. And it looks like they know they need to do it, but whether they can actually manage it is a whole other question entirely. In other news from Blizzard, we've recently got news that Diablo 4 development is progressing well, and internal testing on the action RPG is currently underway, but there was another question that was really at the forefront of everyone's minds at Blizzard, and that was, do you guys not have phones? Yes, Diablo Immortal, the mobile game that really seems to, looking back on it, be the beginning of the end of Blizzard's reputation. And it happened because people wanted a new Diablo game, but they wanted it for PC. So what have Blizzard done? They're bringing Diablo Immortal to PC, because that's what everybody wanted. Now, according to this article, Diablo Immortal skeptics are more optimistic because it's on PC. I really don't know how that works, but I do at least agree with the subtitle that if nothing else, it will be easier to try the free game. Because I think the issue is, a mobile game will remain a mobile game no matter what platform you put it on. They're not very deep, they're not very complicated, and generally not much time has been put into them. And from what we learned about Diablo Immortal, all it is a reskinned version of a game which already exists. They just added Diablo onto it, and then they're going to stop shipping it to people and hoping for that sweet, sweet microtransaction revenue. Personally, I can't think of anything worse, and it certainly doesn't attract me to it, no matter what the price is. Because I don't think free will be the end of that one. But apparently a small but significant wave of optimism ran through the larger Diablo community recently, which has generally been, at best, lukewarm to the game. Although I have to say, if supporting keyboard and mouse was all it took to get people optimistic, then really people are easier to please than I expected. Hey, who knows, maybe the game is great and I'm just biased due to its reveal announcement. It's perfectly possible, but honestly, I doubt it. But for now, that's it from me. Let me know what you thought of any of the topics down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe, more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.